Blog Talk Radio.
Now, isn't it wild how the entire weekend just comes and goes so quickly? I feel like just yesterday my kids came home, literally, which is Friday, and then all of a sudden here we are on a Monday afternoon already. It was nuts, right? Hi, everybody. Or maybe it's because I just did a show on Saturday and it just seems like we weren't off at all. So here I am. It's Monday afternoon. I'm so excited to be talking to today's guest. First of all, because I'm really not as physically fit as I need to be. Second of all, I don't know a damn thing about Taekwondo. So hopefully we're going to learn a little bit something about that. And third of all, Rachel always brings me some of the best clients. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So let me just get through a couple really fast announcements because I don't want to forget about these, and then we'll begin, or I should say commence our interview. I want to remind everybody, here's how the show schedule is going to work out for this week. Tomorrow I'm going to be having the founder of a business by the name of ABEZE, which is in the pet industry, on tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're going to be having our show tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. Same link here. Wednesday, instead of having a day show, this is the first. Me and Jimmy P. from New York City are going to be hosting the very first ever midnight show. And by midnight, I mean midnight Eastern Time, which would be 11 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Wisconsin. So we're going to be talking about three different things. Jimmy is both a New York City actor and a filmmaker, so he's going to be talking about his production, meaning his new film that he's working the festival circuit on. We're going to talk about my film, which is called Love's Two-Way Mirror, in case you guys haven't heard that 57 times. And so we'll be talking about both of our films. We'll be talking about our Oscar picks. We'll be talking about life in New York City, his favorite stuff, my favorite stuff. Almost like he said, she said, only he swears a lot more than I do. So Jimmy P. and I both. That is 11 Central Time, midnight Eastern Time on Wednesday the 28th. Then Thursday, we are going to have the two gals, Stephanie and Melissa from Badassery Podcast. That's right. I just said it, Badassery Podcast on Thursday. It looks like 12 or 1 o'clock Central Time. Don't quote me yet because they're still confirming, so we'll wait to hear back. And hopefully with any luck at all, Cindy will get off on a day on Friday and be able to head to New York City because we're starting to film my production. So please, if you can't catch today's show, please try your best to try for tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday, please. One more reminder to everybody, Art is Alive Film Festival. My festival is still taking submissions. We're in regular submission time right now, accepting three different kinds. Screenplays, youth films, regular films, and web series. That's four, isn't it? $30. Check it out on filmfreeway.com. And again, it's Art is Alive Film Festival. And to those of you who want to help support my movie, obviously there's many ways besides just handing me a donation. You can be part of the cast, you can be part of the extras, and more importantly, donate. Even if it's $1, $2, $5, every little bit helps because as much as I want to finance the whole thing, it's a little expensive. So again, you can do that the direct route. Otherwise, as I mentioned, I wrote that beautiful, exquisite, lovely, very inexpensive $15 catalog that we're selling. That's a write-up of all of the past finalists and winners of my film festival. It's called Art is Alive, The Magic of Indie Movies. Please check that out on Facebook. Go to the website. Do what you can to promote it. I greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, instead of listening to me babble on and on, let's get Joshua on the line and we'll begin our interview. Joshua.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How's it going?
I'm nervous, actually. I've been watching some of your videos, and I've been doing a lot of research, and Rachel always sends me the best guests, so I guess I'm a little intimidated. you're a big guy doing a lot of great things. Yeah, no kidding, right? I'm glad. I'm glad that you showed up. I'm glad that you were on time. That's awesome. Forgive me for having to reschedule. It's just been a little crazy around here. You start doing things like film and other things, and things get a little nuts. So I apologize for the delay, but I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate your time. I have a lot that I want to ask you about. So we're going to start backwards, I think. Usually I start in the beginning. Today we're going to talk about some of the recent stuff you've been doing and kind of work our way backwards, if that's okay with you.
That sounds great.
All right. First of all, let's talk a bit about film because, of course, I was just talking about doing my own film to start with. So as I understand it, you got involved with a project called Enter the Fire, which is directed by Phil Gorn. So let's talk a little bit about that because not every day do individuals who come from the fitness/martial arts world all of a sudden decide, hey, I'm going to be in a movie. So first off, let's start at the beginning. How did you get involved with that project?
Well, I work a full-time job as a custodian, so what happened was I was doing a work order for somebody, a resident at the place I work, and I didn't know that this person was a casting director or anything, but I went up to the room, and her mother stays there, and I asked him about that, and anyway, all of a sudden, she comes back to me and she says, "You want to be in a movie? Somebody told me you're a martial artist." And I was like excited about it. I was like, "Yes, I'll be in a movie." I was just straight yes. And I didn't know she was a casting director either, so it was a surprise to me. And her name was Randy Acton. She's a real great lady too. And that's how I got my foot in the door for that one. This was like my first experience, and it's a great movie.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about that, because most of the people that listen to my show are usually in the industry or wanting to get into the industry. So first of all, you've never done a film before, so I imagine it's a little intimidating, it's a little exciting, it's a little demanding. I guess I'm not really sure. Talk a bit about what you do within the course of the film. And second of all, I noticed this, which my kids will love, that Lou Ferrigno is part of this production, and of course we're big on the Hulk in this house. So of course I have to ask about that experience as well, because that's got to be awesome.
It really is. So the experience is getting on, doing the performance I did. I'm basically playing overall as a bad guy, fighting the main character, Jake Bolt, which is his name is Ian, the guy that plays him. So it was just fun. I mean, not noticing the cameras when I started. Doing the performance, I did performances, in front of people. I done martial arts demo teams. So it was nothing different, just except for the cameras and everything else. So I was confident in myself to perform in this. And so it was really great performance. So I liked how everything came together in this movie. It's going to be an awesome movie. And Lou, he's a real kick-back, relaxed guy, Really? He's a real tall dude.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was just going to mention, look on his Instagram, because I was on your Instagram earlier, and I'm looking at this picture, and you're standing next to Lou Ferrigno, and all I was thinking was, everybody looks small next to him, right? I mean, he's ginormica, right? Like, he's huge, like, not just tall, but big, right? Oh my
he's
God.
really big. Instead of my size, he made me, I make it look smaller.
It's got to be wild. Oh my God.
Being
that's
5'2",
cool, though. I mean,
because
if you're going to have a first experience on film, I mean, there's no doubt whatsoever that that's got to be an amazing opportunity to be standing next to a guy like that, of course. And clearly, I'm gathering, because you've done performance before. Obviously, I imagine that the transition's a little bit easier in terms of doing something like film. But I guess my big question to you is this. Now, I'm going to guess that this is not a Hollywood production, so it's an independent film, obviously. So how much time were you actually required to be on set? Were you having to juggle back and forth between the regular job and then going to film, or how long did that whole process take?
It took I just took a couple of days off work, and then it was probably just one day shoot for my part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was all day, probably like 8 hours.
Okay. Right. I imagine. Now, I would like you to, if you could, just give us a little bit of the backstory on this movie, and then do we have any idea approximately when we're going to be able to see this, or people will be able to go view it, whether it's at a film festival or otherwise?
Well, it just got completed in February, so it's in the process of being distributed, passed around, I guess, or whatever you call it.
Okay.
Still learning about that. So it's completed, so it'll be out this year. Distribution.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Now, is this something that a girl's going to want to go see, to be honest with you? I mean, meaning, do you know the backstory, a little bit of the summary of the movie? Because we wanted to appeal to all audiences, not just boys.
Well, yeah, it's appealing to, I guess. It's like a love story in the middle. He meets a woman named Sonia, and they come together. They're both into this action, and she's a martial artist too, so they become a team, and they fight, through the struggle he's going through right now. So it's like
Gotcha. All right. Now, as it relates to film, the other thing I wanted to mention is I know that you're also a film fight choreographer. So obviously, to most people, as we understand it, what that means is you obviously, I'm guessing, will set up a fight within the course of a film, obviously, or choreograph how that's all going to go. Now, talk to me a bit about that, because I'm about to shoot a scene, or actually a couple scenes in my movie where we have to choreograph putting together a scene that's relatively violent in nature. So tell me something. Two different things here. First of all, how do you prevent an actor from getting hurt? And then second of all, how complex what sort of skills do you bring to the table when you do something such as choreograph a scene? Tell us a bit about your background in terms of what makes you qualified to do something like this, and how do you keep your actors safe while doing it?
Well, you just put together a fight scene, and then to keep them safe, if there's falls or anything, you would put like a cushion down, and then I guess the movie magic will kind of take that out of it and make sure they make sure you really know what you're doing. You're a martial artist. You come in, you're fighting.
Right.
You make sure they know, they practice it. You make sure they're doing it the right way.
Okay.
You don't want any injuries, so.
Right. Well,
make
clearly.
it as realistic as possible.
Well, without hurting someone, obviously. And more importantly,
right.
how do you get a background in that? Meaning, did you have to go and specifically study in terms of that aspect of your career? Is that something that you had to learn, or is that a combination of what you've already done and kind of just integrating that with film?
This is something I've done and integrated. I just had that stuff on my demo team. I put little things together, and and that's how I can choreograph things. I know how to do it because it's just like doing a form. You're imagining somebody there, and you're striking, and you're putting it just with somebody else. And it also applies to self-defense things, so it was nothing different to me. So it's just like a self-defense.
Got it. Okay, so it's not too far of a stretch for you, which is cool. Okay. Now, before we get into the martial arts side of things, because I know that you're very heavy in that as far as that goes, obviously acting is one thing we mentioned, but I know in the past you've done modeling before. Now, folks, if you've never seen him before, I'm not going to lie, he's a little, but he's cute. I mean, obviously the looks are definitely one of those things that help you out when you want to do modeling or other things. So tell me a bit about how much of your time is divvied off to delving into modeling, or how, in the big picture really, how big of your picture is something like modeling? Do you enjoy that? How often do you get to do it?
No, I haven't been, I haven't been focused on that very much because I'm doing like movies and my martial arts teaching, and then,
Right.
So it kind of got off. My first real thing was being called in to do Blast Studios with Victor, and he called me in to do a sports modeling thing, and it was a good experience for me. It was the first time, and I liked it, and well, I didn't make it, but it was a process. It was good.
I understand. No, I understand completely, actually. Now, if somebody's listening in today, and let's say, for instance, that they're kind of curious about getting into the world of modeling, what would you advise them to do? Because as I understand, it's kind of cutthroat or competitive, right? I mean, there's a heck of a lot of people out there kind of vying or vouching to do the same thing.
Well, the first thing I did was I found this photographer. His name's Jason Guy. He does an excellent job with photos. I mean, he works with mostly women to, build their confidence and make sure they know, they can have more self-esteem in themselves, which he does a really good job with. I worked with him. I got my first headshot, it helped me out to get rid of the process of movies too. So he does an excellent job, in which I took my photos to, that Blast Studios Victor Young to do a sports thing. So it was a good experience to help me walk in the door.
Oh, of course. Right. And when you're younger, obviously, because you're a little bit younger than, I guess in the modeling world, at your age, is that considered youthful? Because I don't want to give your age away if you don't want to, because I know how old you are. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, meaning, is there a set? Because some people are out there modeling at like 12, 13 years of age, right?
Yes. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. I imagine so. My God. Well, and you got to use all the assets you've got, from body to face to all that jazz, because some people think it's just, your face or just your figure or whatever. I think it's a combination of things. So kudos to you for at least trying that. That's awesome. And you got that going for you. Okay, now, some of the things besides the martial arts that you do and other things that you do, which we're about to get into, I noticed that you are, first of all, besides being short, I just can't get over that because I'm tiny too. I thought I was like the only person in the industry that's small. I guess that's not true. Sometimes small is a very good thing. In fact, it's a great for you. Besides that, I've been creeping on you, so there's three things I'm curious about. First of all, oh my God, your nephew. Oh my God, he posts these pictures up on Facebook, and I see this little boy, and he's absolutely adorable. You must be very proud of him and spend a lot of time with him. I'm like, that's so adorable. He's very, very cute.
Yes, I love that kid. He's very.
I get the sense of that.
He almost looked like me when I was younger, so I was like, wow. My sister is like,
that's so sweet.
She has a great family.
That's
my
nice. I bet. I've also noticed that you have this, I see a lot of pictures relative to, obviously, the diet that you keep, because I noticed that you put up photographs and different pictures of the things that you're eating, as well as you did a little bit of photography. I saw this picture of you taking you did a photo of this couple that looked really neat. So I was like, I should ask him if photography is something that you just do as a hobby on the side. It looks like you enjoy that profusely.
Yeah, I love it. I do it as a hobby. I mean, I see something and I just take a picture of it. If it means something to me and if it can mean something to others, I take it. So
cool. Very
it's
cool.
Great. It's a great hobby.
It was really pretty. I mean, actually, I like that picture a lot, quite a bit. And clearly, I'm also going to guess you're a Florida Georgia Line fan too, because I have a friend of mine who posts this all the time, and I'm like, that dude must be into. I don't know why people are into country music. I don't get it. It's fine if you like it. But you apparently seem to enjoy them quite a bit. You're not the only guy apparently out there. They're a big popular thing,
no.
right? People keep telling me they're
yes,
like really cool and all this, and I'm like, I don't know anything about them except they sing country music. So I guess I'll have to check into that. I also know you have a brother. Obviously, we know you're an uncle now, but you also have a brother as well. Now, is he involved in martial arts or fitness or personal training or any of the same kind of stuff you do, or no?
My brother, my brother is just a regular. He lives in San Francisco. He's not involved in anything. I don't know where. Yeah, it's just
okay. All right, now. I want to talk about this because I think this is an important detail. When I was researching you, what I found out was that you kind of taught yourself in terms of how to strengthen your body, strengthen your muscles, how to get your body in good shape, tone it. Okay, so I'd like you to talk about that a bit because I think there's a lot to be said about somebody who can teach themselves how to get into a better mindset as well as into physically and psychologically in a better place. So start off by talking a little bit about how you taught yourself some of these things and how long it took you to get to the place where you are now.
Well, when I started, I was young. I was watching, cartoons and stuff. People was fighting and stuff, like into it. And so I started doing my first push-ups when I was about 12 around on there, 13, 12, 11. And I just liked it. I just kept going. And high school started and my dad had these books, and I just started researching it, reading a lot of the muscle, different groups, which ones. And I was more into the wrestling muscle types, and I was, just a lot of study into that. And I took a college in Concord. I took some personal training courses and took some, anatomy, and just kept learning from there. So I'm just a self-learner. I'm just, multi-talented, I guess you can say. And I built from that. And I'm certified with the ISSA, so.
Right. I was just going to say, because there's different
International Sports Science.
areas.
Yes.
Now, you do personal training. So obviously, of course, we've all heard of the term personal trainer, but clearly each personal trainer I've come to find actually specializes in different things or works different parts of the body. So if I were to come in and see you tomorrow and I'd say to you, okay, well, I need a personal trainer. What are some of the services or some of the things that you provide to the people that you work with on a personal training level?
Well, I would ask you what your goal is first, and then I would, tell you, okay, this is how we're going to do it. We would sit down and talk and then go over what your plan is going to be, your goal, and then I will help you to get there. I wouldn't push you as hard as first. I would, assess you. You do, let's see how you do push-ups, let's see how you do this exercise, just assessments and stuff, and then we get straight to your goal. So we just write that down first. We just get it figured out.
Okay, I got it. Now, to a person that comes to see you, is there what you call, and forgive me, I'm kind of trainer stupid when it comes to this stuff because I don't do this very often, but,
it's okay.
When somebody knocks on your door and says, okay, we want to get a game plan or a campaign or some kind of a way where we're getting you healthier and in shape, what does that look like? Meaning, you're not just going to walk in tomorrow, right, and then within a month from now we're going to be like, okay, Joshua, it was nice, blah, 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 blah. Is there, maybe a set time frame or a set space that we want to set aside to get our bodies in better shape?
Time frame, that's all, up to you and the trainer. I'll make the time for you. You know what your goal is. I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you at the same time. And then hopefully by the end of your sessions, you learn something. And then my goal wouldn't be to keep you. My goal is, teach you and show you this is how you're going to do it. This is how you're going to eat. Sure. I can recommend people, it's part of my job too, that nutritionist is a good one. So
Gotcha. Okay, got it. So obviously you're working hand in hand in terms of fixing the body, obviously making sure you're eating
Uh-huh.
right, make sure you're taking the right things in, etc. Now, one of the people, and this is a good question for you actually, because I was just going to go to the gym later, but I'll just ask you instead. I get a lot of flack because I just started going to the gym lately. I had a health condition, so I'm kind of forced into it. And I won't lie to you. If it wasn't for that, of course I wouldn't go to a gym. But I do, and so I'm like, okay, I should get the best benefit out of it. So I've been recommended, or people have recommended to me rather. How important is it for the average person before you go in and do a workout of any kind? Let's say I go out and work out for an hour, hour and a half, whatever. I'm not big on this whole stretching thing. First of all, I don't have time, so I'm like, I kind of run to the gym, do my thing, whatever. So is there some basis to the belief that stretching out prior to and after a workout is beneficial to you somehow?
Stretching is beneficial. It helps your blood flow, helps your muscles relax. It prevents injury. It's a very important part you should apply. So you don't want to hurt yourself when you're training. You want to warm up first, exactly number one, the jumping jacks running, and then you want to stretch the muscles. Really good.
Okay. Gotcha.
It just expands your muscle. You got more than 650 something muscles things are what do you call it? So
I think I get what you mean.
You want to stretch them out.
I see.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Gotcha. I get it because I get a lot of
flack. To get you in there and get you pumped too. It's like you got,
Yeah, right. Yay! Can't wait to go. I say that every day too. You should see it on Facebook. I post stuff and I'm like, here I am at the damn gym. Really don't want to be at the gym.
And then
Don't
motivation.
want to go to the gym. I mean, yeah, there's like zero motivation, and moreover, there's no alcohol there. I'm like, if you people would just put like wine there, I'd be like, oh my God, this would be awesome. There's a theater here so I can watch a movie. So I'm like, I'm digging it. There's a theater at my gym actually. So I'm like, okay, I can work out.
Oh, really?
I can watch a movie. All you need is booze. And I'm like, oh my God, this would be so much better. But they don't allow that apparently. I don't know why. Maybe you people owning the gym should look into that, but that's my personal belief. But no, I get a lot of flack because I just don't have time. I run in there. I never stretch out. Maybe there is some benefit to that. So I might just adhere to your warning there. I understand that you're an instructor. You do what's called the body burn fitness class. So one can ascertain that obviously, of course, this is for the sole benefit of losing weight. So when you're doing this fitness class, what are some of the components that go on during the time that you're teaching this? And how often do people come and do this? Is this once a week, a couple times a week?
Well, this was a program that I did. It was for a semester, actually. So it was a semester. So I just have people come in. I play music. We do just a lot of aerobics. I mix it up with resistance training, with body weight training. I'm just, because you don't want to do the same thing every day. You want to, train the mind to challenge yourself, because it already gets boring. The exercises get boring, and nobody wants to show up to do it. So it was a great class. Mostly women, but it was good. But I enjoy teaching, groups too. But one-on-one is great too.
No, I understand.
And as you were saying,
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, as you were saying, there was a movie theater and stuff. There's things you can focus on. Like it's a goal. Okay, I'm gonna train really hard, and then I'm gonna go treat myself. To a drink, to something. Wherever your goals are. If it takes 5 months, I'm like, okay, now I can do this.
That's a good idea, actually. And I do think a reward system is kind of good. Yeah, definitely, I do. Because for some of us, I don't think people realize in the fitness world. I say this all the time. We don't all look at it, like when I go to the gym, that's one of the reasons we don't like going is everyone there is in shape, and it's kind of sickening because it's like when you're not in shape, you're like, yeah, I really don't want to deal with looking at you. Second of all, there are people that are actually happy to go to the gym. I don't understand that. I'll probably never be one of those people, so I'm like, yeah, I don't understand why you're so happy. The other thing is this, like for instance, I have kids that are 11 and 13, and I'm like, I know that my 13-year-old can go to the gym, but are there any classes or things that you do on a younger level? Because I could definitely see you teaching people that are not necessarily, regular full-blown adults. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I especially love teaching the kids. I teach Taekwondo here in Marin County.
Nice.
With my instructor too. So I just teach the classes. I teach classes with the kids. I come up with all these animal exercises. They love it, like the bear crawl. You just gotta get creative with the kids. It's really fun. You can just be whoever you want to be.
That's cool. That is really cool.
I love teaching the Taekwondo.
There you go, Taekwondo. Okay, so we have to talk about that obviously because My kids are
Uh-huh.
wrestlers, and I won't lie. Every time I go there, I complain, and
Oh.
then I get petrified because people are grabbing my children, and they have their skull and
Mm-hmm.
all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay. So first off, let's do a definition for those that are listening in. What exactly is the fundamental definition of Taekwondo? Meaning, how do we understand what that is versus general martial arts versus boxing versus wrestling? Do you follow me? I'm kind of confused on what exactly that is.
No, Taekwondo is just the way of the hand and foot. So it's just, using your feet and your hands to do everything. And my particularly, what I train in is Sangam Taekwondo. So it has like a little philosophy. It's a pine tree and rock, Sangam. And then,
Okay.
you build a solid foundation and you build up to that. So it's a pine tree, it grows evergreen, right? So you just develop the same way. You develop yourself the same way. But wrestling, I'm doing jiu-jitsu, so I'm going to be getting my blue belt in May. And wrestling, it's tough on your body, I can tell you. But you just make sure you're listening to your instructor, what he's teaching you, because it's going to help you when you're in that doing those moves and competing, because it will help you. So if you get hurt and then you weren't following what you're instructed to do, it's all about just applying what you learn.
Sure. Well, and the thing is, too, I'm noticing, they are literally, it's a 5-day-a-week commitment. Like, literally for the last, a month now? They're literally practicing 5 days a week, and they're there at 6 at night. And of course, they're competing every week. And I'm like, one of the things we talked about on my show before is, and I don't know if you get this in the martial arts community as much as on this side of the fence, what we're getting, which is, the children get excited, they go, they compete, and I don't know if it's an age thing or if this is just all part of your industry, but, they get very disappointed in themselves. Like, I could tell them, which I did, I'm like, you just did phenomenal, and all he sees is, I wasn't good enough, I didn't win this match, da-da-da-da-da. Is martial arts kind of the same mantra mindset? Because it's frustrating to see, you have great kids or great individuals that are trying to work really hard and accomplish something, and the minute they don't win, it becomes all about self-sabotage. Do you know what I'm saying? I imagine martial arts is not quite like that, I would guess. Or is it?
It's the same way. Everybody wins, everybody loses, but you learn something from it. You have to grow, just encourage, keep going. You're going to, it helps you, to be a better person. And it helps you to, okay, this is my mistake. Now I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do this next time. And that's where your coach comes in too. He comes there and he looks at you while you do your thing. And he tells you, we're going to improve on this skill so you can win next time. It's about not giving up. It's about, keep going. I did some coaching too, so you need to just make sure the kid, or whoever you're pushing to, or whoever you want, whatever they want, whatever their goal is, what their focus is, if they're determined. And if they lose, it's just like I said, it's a win or it's a learn. You learn from it.
I understand. And of course, judging by what I'm listening to from what you're telling me, you've been doing Taekwondo for over 13 years, so this is something that's stuck with you. What are some of the things that you have taken away from participating in this art form, or should I say sports/art form, that still stick with you today? What's some of the biggest benefits you've gotten from participating in this?
The biggest thing is my, I gain confidence. I'm more focused. I get, it makes me just, want to be better than getting out there and doing things like I said, it helped me, confidence, perform in front of people, and I can do it in movies now. There's benefits to it. It's whatever benefit you want, fitness, or you want to become something like a leader, which I am now. I'm certified with them. And I've been doing it for now, a long time. So I love teaching, and I love getting people motivated. And you're performing, you're there teaching people, and that's helped me a lot. The kids, especially, it's fun. And then the parents are watching, you just get everybody excited. It's about, it's about that coach. It's about who's teaching you. It depends on the instructor to guide you and to motivate you where you want to be and see where your weakness is, why you like to go down. Exactly. I love it. I love the teaching part. It's great.
Oh, I love teaching too, actually. I think all of us who teach just get more out of it, I think, than some of the people that we're teaching, that's for sure. And also, how often, when we look at your schedule, meaning if you're doing the training component, if you're doing Taekwondo, obviously, you've got the film thing happening, and then, of course, if you're teaching specifically, give us an average ordinary day for Joshua, assuming that there is an average ordinary day, meaning are all of these, I mean, is there an element of all of this in every part of your day, every day? Do you know what I mean? We're just trying to get an idea of what really happens in your life.
Oh, yes. My schedule is like, okay, I work in the morning, and then I go straight to practice, let's say Monday, jiu-jitsu, and I go train, and then the next day I go to do my job again in the morning, and I go to Taekwondo. So it's basically up and down. I'm always busy, always keeping busy, and, you know, focus on what I need to get done. So it's just, you know, work 7 in the morning, so, and then until like 8, I basically Taekwondo teaching from Monday through Friday. And then I try to get some time to, you know, relax and then train myself, you know, lifting my body, strengthening it, and keeping, you know, focused and confident.
Sure. Confidence, I think, is probably a great key, of course. And clearly, you're a 4th-degree black belt. That leads me to believe that you actually know what you're doing. You spent some time training and intensely working on this. And you mentioned the blue belt that's coming. I guess to those of us that are listening in who aren't as savvy as you are in terms of this world, meaning at what point do you finally get the belt? Does that make sense? Like you're working, I'm assuming, towards a goal. Where does it finally reach the plateau and you're like, get with this?
The jiu-jitsu part, blue belt. So my goal is to get that in May, and it just helps me to, you know, build myself up. That I know not just Taekwondo, I know jiu-jitsu, and I can apply it. If I get another movie, I can apply it into there. I can teach it to my students. You know, strengthen. You know, somebody brings them to the ground, and I can teach them how to, you know, take somebody, you know, self-defense wise when you're on the ground. So it's a lot of benefits for me. I want to grow more so I can help my students grow more, or anything else.
Of course. You bet. Now, because you're located in California, I should have mentioned that, folks, because we have a nice New York City base and California base. So if folks are in California, let's say, for instance, and they want to come and check you out and do something that you do, whether it's on the martial arts side of things or just a personal trainer, are you open? Are you accepting clients? Tell us a bit about how people can get in to see you.
Yes, I'm accepting. I'm actually contracted also into Kentfield MMA or fitness, you would call it, Kentfield Fitness in Marin County, by College of Marin. So you guys they can call in there and schedule an appointment with me, and I can get them going on whatever, you know, martial arts, self-defense, or fitness-wise.
Nice. Okay. Now, are you also doing live events, things like that? Do you have something scheduled where you're going to be talking about, because like sometimes when people do films, for instance, like when the film comes out, you'll be touring around with that or doing festivals or doing the circuit. Is there any anticipated talk about doing any promotion for the film itself?
No, I have not heard about it, but it's getting out there right now, so I don't know about that part. So, yeah, but gotcha. I did. Well,
you never know.
Mm-hmm.
People might be listening in, might be like, oh my God, I totally want to meet this Joshua guy. He's little. He's single, by the way, folks. I meant to mention that. So does that mean that you automatically date women that are like Taekwondo certified and have their like 3rd-degree belt and da-da-da-da-da? I guess I should ask that question for anybody who happens to be listening in.
Well, not single, but working on a relationship right now. So,
I'm sorry.
She's real, it's cool. It's cool. I have to update you.
I was going to say, you can only go by what you research. So my current research tells me that
I know.
but I apologize. I'm sorry. No, I didn't know. You know, you don't know unless you actually ask that question. So I'm glad that you approached that, actually. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. Also, the other thing that we want to bring up is, do you think I could see you actually, I don't know, because you enjoy teaching so much, do you think you'll ever put all of the stuff or the skills that you've learned into some kind of a book form or something that people would be able to read or reference, like manual, catalog, book? Ever given that any thought?
I would love to. If I could, you know, there's, you know, some support there and motivation I can, or not motivation, but support I can get there. But given my schedule, you know, somebody wants to help me with that, that'd be great. I would love to sit down and write.
Yes, let me tell you, it's arduous, because I write all of my scripts for my shows. I've done 3-4 books, whatever. I do PR for authors all the time, and that's like the number one thing is, I tell people that all the time when they come on my show. I'm like, if you do something that's a specialty or a niche, heck yeah, you should go out and do something with it, because you never know.
Right.
I mean, when I look at somebody, like if somebody came up to me and said, oh yeah, you want to do martial arts, I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'd be like, what? You know what I mean? Most of us have a stigma attached to, what does this mean? How much time involvement is it? It looks painful. You know what I mean? It's to the average person who isn't in your world, it would be great to see something out there from a writing standpoint that says, hey, you're a little bit younger, you're not as experienced, let's say, as other people, but you have skills that are specified and specialized that people may want to know about. So I always throw the idea out there. I'm like, you don't have to do it, but what the heck? Or do a movie or do something. Maybe it's because I do all of that. So I'm like, I want everyone else to do a movie and write a film and do this and do this. So just think about it. You never know. It's one of those things. And people get to see you now.
You can be an instructor in that field then.
There you go. That's absolutely awesome. And it is cool. I think what you do is really neat just because of the fact that somebody who is younger like yourself, who's been doing Taekwondo for a number of years, this isn't something that kind of came and went with you. It's sticking for a reason. That means it's obviously bettering you. It's bettering the individuals that you work with as well. That's a big deal. And, of course, getting to that 4th degree black belt thing, that's no small venture either. Obviously, that takes a lot of work and time and dedication. So kudos to you on that part. I think that it's great that you're using all of your skills to utilize not only your life, make it better for you, but also better for other people, and get to do a film. How cool is that? I mean, I've spent my whole life, and I'm here to tell you the Hulk doesn't even know I exist. I'm trying to get him on my show, but I'm like, he doesn't even know I exist, so that's, like, way cool. And, folks, he just recently, I saw your article on BuzzFeed and, of course, in newtheory.com. So if you guys either check out BuzzFeed.com or newtheory.com, he's got a write-up in both of those as far as that goes. Also, so for the next 6 months to a year, where do you anticipate being, or where are you going? What does your future hold for the next year, Joshua?
How my future holds, let's see. I'm gonna be, I guess, maybe a couple more movies.
Nice.
Keep doing what I'm doing, and then from there, probably be married. I don't know.
Well, it's a little too soon on the marriage thing. That's what I tell people. I'm like, don't get too excited, right? Because you just never know. You're a little bit younger, so you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
You never know. You never know.
Well, let me just tell you folks all the various different ways. And Joshua, after I get done reading all of this, let me know if I've missed anything. These are all the various ways that you can find this young man that I've been talking to. His name, of course, is Joshua. And how do you spell it? Is it boy? How do you pronounce your last name?
Just like boy, and then you put the E-S, yes, Boyes.
Boyes. Okay, JoshuaBoyes.com is the name of the website. Just so you folks know, it's spelled Boyes. He is on Facebook. He has both a personal page and then the professional page is Joshua the Tiger Boyes. And I want to ask a question about that. Why do they call you the Tiger? Is that a specified name you gave you, or is that a nickname, or where did that come from?
It's a nickname. It's just morely for because I specify what tigers are. They're more the ruthless. They keep going through the fires and everything. So it's just a topic that I like.
I understand. And you can find him on there. That's his professional page. Well, of course. Yeah. And I can see why, obviously. Along with the personal page, you can friend him unless he's had 5,000 already because he's so popular. He has a LinkedIn account, an IMDb profile. He has a YouTube channel. He's on Google+. And his Instagram is Boyes Joshua, so it's backwards. And, of course, Enter the Fire, which is the film that we were talking about, is also on IMDb. Is there any other place where folks can find you?
Well, there was actually one more film I did, too, that you probably don't know about, so I didn't mention it. I'm sorry. It's actually called Notorious Nick. It's about a guy that has one arm, a true story about him. Nick Noel, if everybody should know about him.
Got it.
And that story is just very, it was motivation for me. It was, like, encouraging, like, somebody with one arm to become a champion. It's just the confidence and the support he had in his life. It's just a great story. It was a great part. It was great to be a part of it. So I'm just a fighter in there in a cage fight, so that's great.
Well, thanks for referencing that. Yeah, because honestly, I don't know how I missed that, but thank you. And then this way, then people can check that out as well. Now, just so you know, this episode becomes archived in about 2 hours or so. So anybody listening in that might be a follower of yours or mine, give it about 2 hours. I'll send you a copy of the link. I will also send you a copy of it off my YouTube channel because it goes on there as well. And I'll circulate this around because a lot of what I do is in the film industry now. So please, if you get a chance to speak to your director and if you guys are doing the circuit, feel free to knock on my door. I'm in New York City in mid-August is when my festival is going on. And we're still taking submissions, so I'd love to be able to get a chance to check out the film. I would love that. I think it would be awesome. So please pass that along if you would. And also, anytime you want to come back to the show, promote anything you're doing, feel free to come back anytime you like. I'm always here, Monday through Friday usually.
All right, great.
Sometimes on the weekend, we'll see. But thank you just for taking the time to come and talk to us. Yeah, and don't be a stranger, certainly. I look forward to being able to see some of your film work. I think it'll be awesome.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Anytime at all. I had a wonderful time, absolutely, and I learned a little bit about going to work out and learning about the martial arts, and now you can bet your butt I'll have to stretch because Joshua told me if I don't stretch, I'm going to end up hurting myself. Yay, another good point of the gym. I'm getting excited little by little. Yeah,
I'll get you in there, get you motivated, right? Quick.
Yeah, I do need a little motivation. It's a day-by-day thing. You know, I mean, I'm a little older than you are, so I've got kids and a full life, and it's kind of like, yeah, it'll come. One of these days it will come. At least I'm going. That's what I always say. I'm like, at least I'm getting up off my butt and I'm going. So that's important. Exactly. All right, my friend. Good luck to you. I hope to talk to you soon. You have a great afternoon. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Sydney. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. That was, again, Joshua Boyes. Again, the personal page is on Facebook as well as Joshua the Tiger Boyes. His website is joshuaboyes.com. His Instagram handle is Boyes Joshua. He has a profile on YouTube, YouTube channel, forgive me, Google+, IMDb, LinkedIn, and of course, as we mentioned, Enter the Fires on IMDb, as well as Notorious Nick, which I was unaware that he did. So again, go ahead and check his efforts out. As a matter of fact, go ahead and take a look at some of the videos that he's had posted. Go to BuzzFeed.com and newstheory.com. You can see his latest 2 articles. Do not want to forget to mention my beautiful, wonderful Rachel with Big Hype Marketing. Once again, another client that we've got in and out here. I can't thank you enough for your diligence and your absolute dedication to all of your clients. She's beautiful. She's talented. If you need anything, I say this all the time, folks. She's right in California there, bighypemarketing.com. Go ahead and take a look. Check out her work. Check out her clients. She's amazing, and she's beautiful, and, well, she's just brilliant, plain and simple. Thanks so much to my listening audience today for taking the time to check out this episode. Again, reminding everybody tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. ABZE is going to be on the show. I'll post up a write-up for that tomorrow, probably morning. Now I'm going to go ahead off and go to the gym, as we had prefaced, among a few other things this afternoon. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.